Hey guys, Abraxas here, and I'm going to be playing some Space Engine. So it's been a couple days since I've done this, but for the most part I was just waiting on this new USB sound card. So let me go ahead and scroll through my comments here and make sure I got the right... Okay, so here's the right video. So it looks like the first suggestion is from Derp Sauce Gaming, so let's go ahead and check it out. He says it's a Terra with big continents. Let me just try to copy this ID here. Okay, here we go. It's a warm Terra with life. It has a diameter of 11,000 kilometers, and wow, that is a big continent on there. Okay. Has a diameter of 11,000 kilometers. Actually, really close to Earth, just a little bit smaller. About, well, it says right there, 11% smaller. It has an orbital period of 114 days, which means each year on this planet is 114 days. I think we are orbiting around a red dwarf, I would say. We're sitting at a semi-major axis of 0.45 astronomical units, which is about 45% of the way from the Sun to Earth in distance. Let's go ahead and click on this. It is a yellow dwarf, so not a very powerful one if this is... Well, actually this planet is sitting at 69 degrees Celsius, so it's actually a really warm planet. So let's just go ahead and fly towards it. The atmospheric composition is CO2, oxygen, and nitrogen, and we have an atmospheric pressure of 2.84 atmospheres of pressure, so that's on an Earth scale. A really, really green planet, as you can see. Actually, let's go ahead and zoom back out, and let's just check out these continents. Okay, let's turn up our ambient lighting. There we go. Yeah, there's some very, very big continents on this world. As you can see, it has some pretty big craters, so it's seen some pretty nasty collisions, it looks like. And there's another one that's probably a crater, I would assume. Let's go ahead and default the ambient lighting, and let's go ahead and fly right in. So immediately you can see that the clouds are kind of clipping through the mountains there, so... Or rather, the mountains are kind of clipping through the clouds, whatever way you view it. And it looks like we have two different cloud layers. One is super low altitude, and another one is actually up here and a high altitude. So we have two cloud layers on this world. You can see our sedimentary rock texture right there with kind of that kind of root looking detail mapping on it. Very nice. And you can see there is some snow peaks on these mountains here. Very cool. And I assume, I'm gonna make a guess that our life texture is probably the grass texture. No, it's actually that kind of star-shaped grass texture. It looks like crabgrass or something like that, or dandelion, I don't know. It looks like something. As you see, it's kind of a star shape. I don't think that's palm trees or anything like that. And there is our normal grass texture. Kind of blended in with the star grass texture. Not quite sure what this could be. I know the top of some cactuses look like that, but that's very likely not what that is. Some kind of fern, maybe? It could be a lot of things. Very cool. So, as you guys can probably tell, the microphone quality is much better now. It doesn't have as much noise in the background. It's because I got my USB sound card. I'm sure anyone who's watched the videos yesterday is aware of this. But, yeah, it's very nice. It sounds actually really good. So, yeah. And see, I imagine the sunset is actually going to be kind of bluish. That's normally what happens with these planets with the kind of thick white fog, I guess you would say. White atmosphere. Here is where the sun would be setting, so let's go ahead and pan backwards. And I just smacked right into the planet. I can kind of see a galaxy there. Is that the Milky Way galaxy? It won't actually let me select it from this magnitude. Let's go ahead and click back onto our world here. And as you can see, there was kind of a shiny mountain here. It's a volcano. It looks like it's covered in snow. You can see it just shine through the atmosphere there. So let's go ahead and see what the sunset looks like. It looks kind of like it's going to fade to a reddish color. It's kind of an Earth-like sunset, but it's a very, very foggy planet. The atmosphere is pretty thick and very visible. That's a really nice fade to the night sky. Yeah, I do believe this is the Milky Way galaxy. That looks a lot like the Milky Way, but we'll find out in just a minute. Let's see if this volcano is actually active. No, it's actually an inactive volcano. It's just covered in snow. Very cool. And is this the Milky Way? Oh, that might not be. Is it? No, it's not. Yeah, I was saying it might not be because it kind of has a purple glow to it, which the Milky Way doesn't really have. But it must be some kind of spiral galaxy, for sure. Let's see what the ambient lighting does. Are there any polar caps on this planet? I kind of doubt it. It's a little bit too warm, but it certainly does have some ice caps on the mountains. Very, very big hurricane there. And there's another one. So that must be the equator of the planet right there. So that means we want to go here to see any polar caps. Which, I don't see any. Aurora on this planet. Aurora's disabled? No, they're actually enabled. There's just no aurora on this planet. Very interesting. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to the next suggestion, which once again is from Derp Sauce Gaming. He says, it's a pretty terror with rings. So let's go ahead and check that out. And here we go. Wow. It does just have these big, beautiful, like, white rings. Okay, they kind of faded to a little bit more of a tan color as I turned on the ambient lighting. Okay, so this is another Terra that's seen some pretty nasty collisions, as you see with those giant craters there. Shadow being casted across the rings. Very nice. I assume that it's just a small asteroid, which it is, a warm asteroid. And let's correct our field of view here. We are sitting at a semi-major axis of 0.48, which means it's probably a rather small, probably new star. Dwarf once again. And let's just go ahead and rotate our camera here, and let's touch down right here where the sun is actually setting. Okay, so here we are. We have the beautiful ring shadow being casted over here, right where the sun is about to set. And you can see the stars and other planets nearby, or that's an asteroid, just kind of glowing in the night sky, along with the galaxy. You can actually see the galaxy from the shadow of the rings, which is pretty cool. And there's the parenting star, which is kind of an Earth-like sunset, maybe a little bit more saturated blue than the actual sunset on Earth. Kind of fades off to a little bit of a green color, it looks like. And there it is, turning red just before it sets. Very nice. Okay, so the, let me see if I can get this selected again. There we go. We have a greenhouse effect of 2 degrees. The temperature is 46 degrees, so still quite a bit warmer than Earth, but probably a lot more tolerable than the previous planet. It has a composition of nitrogen, carbon dioxide, and oxygen. More carbon dioxide than oxygen, which is probably not the best thing. Which is probably what's causing such a warm temperature, but that could just be because we're so close to this yellow dwarf. Let's see. The diameter of this world is actually really big. It's actually pretty much twice that of Earth. It's a really big world. I see there's like kind of a treetop texture blended into the sand, which doesn't make too much sense to me, but okay. You got like winded sand, you can see the detail mapping of like the sand grains and stuff, and you can kind of faintly see like the treetop texture, like it's looking at a satellite image of like a forest or something like that. Let's go ahead and go over to where we can actually see it a little bit better. A bit more sunlight. We have a continent right over here. Actually, let's touch down right here, right next to this crater. And let's just slow down the camera a little bit. Okay, so that's kind of that generic life texture we got going on. It's kind of blended in multiple different directions. We have more winded sand over here. And is that the actual texture I was seeing like a moment ago, or is that different? See if we can find a part with like kind of a darker terrain color or something. Okay, so we have something going on over here. It might just be because of that hill, but maybe not. This looks like canyon terrain. It's just very, very bright. Okay, there we go. Okay, yeah, that is the treetop texture right there, as you can see. Kind of looks like treetops. The color's kind of inverted. The treetops are actually the tan color, and the ground layer is actually the green color, I think is what's going on here. So it looks like actually kind of like a, I don't know, fieldy terrain with a few like very vibrant green plants or something like that, like autumn terrain. Looks like, I don't know, maybe a field, like a dried out field possibly. Few like very, very green plants, possibly, I don't know. It is a very warm planet, so that would be possible if it had Earth-like life. Very cool. And over here we have kind of more of that going on. These hills are actually very beautiful looking. I'm kind of liking the little spiky peaks on them. We have like these smooth, lovely eroded hills, and they just have like a bunch of little spiky peaks on them. I wonder what it would actually take to kind of cause terrain like this. I don't think this is very natural at all, but it looks very cool. And you just see that huge ring just kind of rainbowing across the sky there. Very nice. Okay, so we have 3 suggestions from Andromeda, which I'm going to visit all 3 because, well, there's actually not too many suggestions for this video, even though it's been like 3 days. So yeah, if you guys have suggestions, don't be shy, go ahead and leave suggestions. Just make sure it's like 2 suggestions because, well, I don't normally accept 3 like I'm doing for Andromeda, but kind of low on suggestions for this video. Okay. It is a cool Terra sitting at negative 24 degrees Celsius. We have CO2 and sulfur dioxide. And this is very cool looking. We're sitting at a diameter of 20,000 kilometers. So, about 57% more than Earth. Is this just an ice world? You would think this would be like a Titan or something, but no. It's not very far from the star, I don't think. No, it's just a really cool star. Yeah, what is going on with this galaxy? We'll have to check that out in a minute. Okay, so let's go and touch down here. We're sitting at a semi-major axis of 0.10, so I mean, that's got to be a pretty low power, like red dwarf or something like that. I imagine if I turn on the real planet brightness, it'll probably get oh wait, the real planet brightness is already on. Okay. Good cloud layer. And there's something going on here. Maybe this is just where like water would wash up kind of through the snow and something like that. Maybe some type of shoreline with a bunch of hills or something. Maybe this area was like kind of flooded or something like that, and this is just kind of like a cold sand remnant, and there's some snow right there. The snow is actually really nicely rendered. I do like the texture it's kind of using. Try to slow down with the camera a little bit. Yeah, we got some lovely, like, hilly, snowy terrain. You know, if you guys ever played Rust, like, I have a video or 2 of that on my channel. Very violent game. Yeah, the game is, very intense, but if you guys ever played Rust, while they still had, like, large snow biomes in the kind of experimental build, which I guess is kind of the actual build of Rust, this kind of reminds me of that. Like, this is the type of terrain it would basically generate for the snow biome. The blue, like kind of cyan turquoise possibly. There's probably a planet right there. Yeah, I believe that's a planet. It's just very bright over there. This is a very cool looking ice world. Let's go ahead and check out the polar caps. Oh yeah, we do have multiple cloud layers, as you can see here. Kind of a low altitude one, and then we have the higher upper atmosphere one. Oh, look at that. There's a huge active volcano right here. Wonder if we could actually see the galaxy if we sit on top of this volcano. Oh yeah, you can literally see the galaxy if you just stand on this volcano here. There's the parenting star. Very cool. This volcano basically peeks out of the atmosphere, or at least the lower layers of the atmosphere. And it just barely scrapes that cloud layer there. Nice. This is a very cool looking world. I do recommend you guys check this out, and if you want to check it out, the ID is up in the top left. I want to actually bookmark this one, possibly for a later video or project or something. So let's go ahead and check out this very interesting looking galaxy. Okay, so we're flying through a huge cloud, it looks like. Let's go ahead and zoom out here. I assume we're in like a little separated section. Oh, this is the Tadpole Galaxy, isn't it? Oh, it is. Yeah, I visited this, I think the last video. That or the video before that. Very recently, though. Very cool. Okay. I don't think Andromeda asked me to actually visit this, but obviously he visited it. And found a pretty cool looking snow world out here on like the kind of tail of the tadpole. Very nice. So let's go ahead and check out Andromeda's next suggestion. Okay, let's go ahead and paste that in. And here we go. Okay, so it is a warm terra with life, sitting in a very blue galaxy. What is this? Just a random galaxy. Spiral. Darker side of the... Oh, I didn't even notice it has rings. Kind of some nice thin separated rings, and then we have this big bold ring kind of closer to the planet. And it is orbiting a red dwarf, very close to it in fact. But the temperature is 36 degrees Celsius, while I think Earth sits at 15 if I'm correct. So, very nice. And let's just go ahead and land right here. So as is common when you have a very dim star, you kind of have this like tan atmospheric layer. This planet sees a lot of rain and erosion, as you can tell by these kind of canyons here. They're very eroded, as you can see. And it looks like we have our standard grass texture, it looks like. And this is a very cool looking world. I like the way the terrain is actually generating these like canyons and stuff going on here. Actually, it looks, I don't know if I would say natural, but very cool looking. As you can see, it's using the winded sand texture on the hillsides, which is a little bit weird. You can kind of see the sedimentary rock texture just kind of peeking through, with that kind of root texture detail mapping on the rocks. And yeah, this just looks very nice. Let's see if we can find some other type of terrain. Okay, it looks like more canyon terrain here. Actually not, okay, there is clouds, but they're very, very faint. You can see them right here. So it's kind of a high altitude cloud layer, but it is very, very dim. Actually, it's very visible right here. Oh, look at that volcano. It's one of the bugged out ones, but it's active, clearly. The volcano there didn't generate properly. Let's see if we can find one that did. Oh, there's one right there. It's kind of right above this cloud layer, though. Oh, in fact, this cloud layer is basically clipping into the ground here. Maybe it's not a very high altitude cloud layer. Maybe I was just kind of fooled by the canyon terrain. Kind of got our... Yeah, that's our grass texture again. And there's the active volcano with... for a second there, I thought a life texture was kind of generating inside of it. I was going to say, we have some volcanic life here. Nice. Let's see if we can find a different life texture, which will probably be in these darker areas. No, that is just some or not some volcanoes, but some rather jagged looking mountains, possibly. They're pretty jagged, but they do kind of have the eroded effect going down the sides of them, which makes them look kind of cool. I actually really like the way these are actually looking. You got the still sedimentary, like, layered rock going on. And hopefully in the next SpaceEngine version that's actually kind of improved upon, where there's actually going to be, like, hopefully some more, like, rock textures, because the sedimentary one is, like, easily the most common one. It's basically, like, always orange, so it's improved upon. I really like the way these mountains kind of fade off into some nice kind of eroded rolling hills until it just fades off into a huge kind of valley here up to this volcano. Okay, I think we have 2 life textures here. I could be wrong. Looks like 2 different kinds of grass. I really like the way this mountain range actually plateaus rather than just being like a huge contrast mountain range. It has a nice kind of smooth hill down the side of it. Like just jagged craziness over here. Very cool. And let's go ahead and check out the galaxy. Oh, okay, so it's this blue spiral galaxy. I've seen this texture a lot of times, but yeah, I always like the way this one looks. Just a very nice looking galaxy. Let's go ahead and move on to the next suggestion, which once again is from Andromeda. Which appears to be in the... Nope, that's not in the same galaxy. We are in a galactic collision. So we have this beautiful Terra here. Oh, wow. Okay, so this is kind of like a cyclone here, but it's not like fully become a cyclone. It's kind of just like fading into one, I guess you would say. I don't really know. Looks like a hurricane, but it hasn't quite evaporated enough and formed a big enough cloud layer, but you can see the wind is actually forming a spiral. You have some interesting terrain right here. I actually have a question for you guys. Do you guys really care that I read off all this stuff on the left? I do that for like every planet, and it's like, huh. Well, that's, I mean, like, you could easily read it right there on the left side. But, yeah, it's just a general question. Do you guys actually care if I do that? Because, I don't know, it just seems like I do that for like half planets, and sometimes I forget and stuff, and I don't know. Not really that important, unless it's kind of noteworthy for the planet, that it's like truly unique in that sense. I mean, yeah, just all the little specifications for the planet. Like the atmosphere composition's kind of important. The diameter, I mean, yeah, I mean, that's important. Same major axis, you can kind of tell just by looking at the star in most cases. And yeah, I was just wondering if you guys actually care about that at all. Diameter of this planet is 1.41. It says it right there. It's 41% bigger than Earth. So almost not twice the size, but yeah, half. No, yeah, 1.41 the size of Earth. So I mean, there you go. And I really like that it's using kind of this, I don't know what that would be. You know, now that I actually see this texture a little bit better, it actually looks kind of cool. This is actually probably the best planet that I've actually seen generate this life texture right here. And it looks like it's just a bunch of like little leaves like sprouting out of some rocks. So kind of like some type of ivy or something like that. Some type of viney plant, I would say. I always figured it was like kind of like clovers or something that you'd see on like the side of like a wet forest or something like that. But no, it actually looks kind of like some type of viney kind of thing that would like grow on like the side of a rock or a fence or something like that. And over there you kind of see I'm not sure what that is. Maybe that just looks like moss growing on like the side of granite or something like that. So very nice life textures. I really like when it uses these ones instead of like just a kind of simple grass texture and stuff. Because in plant evolution, I mentioned this before in one of my previous videos. Grass is actually kind of a unique thing that kind of not generated, but kind of evolved over like the past million years, we do believe. And yeah, basically it's kind of a new thing. Grass is not like something that's been around on Earth for all that long. Even though it like basically has taken over Earth and is very invasive, it's not actually something that is like completely all the way through the evolution of plant life on Earth. So yeah, I think there is a SciShow video on that I linked in the last time I mentioned this. That was that was probably within like the first 20 episodes. So yeah, it's kind of something a little bit noteworthy. So when I see the grass texture on like the majority of the worlds that I see, it kind of is like, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. When I see textures like this, they're cool. It'd be cooler if it was something just kind of unique and not really Earth-like, or just something like on Earth that people are not used to seeing that's just kind of alien-like, that we don't really think about too much when we think of like kind of our normal plant species that we see in our areas and in populated areas and stuff like that. Because there's a lot of like very crazy looking plants on Earth that would make for some pretty entertaining stuff to actually see on these worlds. Of course, I think the next step is probably higher resolution, like plant textures and stuff. I'm sure there's mods and stuff that do that, but I don't really plan on loading any mods for the game. And yeah, it's a very beautiful looking world. We have a lot of this kind of bumpy hill terrain, or maybe that's just the area that I'm in. I think I should probably go through my settings real quick and turn up the level of detail. That way we can kind of just get it to load a little bit more. Over here we have some snowy peaks, it looks like. That's a little bit different terrain. And what is this? I'm not sure what's going on here. Okay, so we have a rock texture, it looks like. Kind of some rough stone with something kind of growing between it. It looks like just moss. There could be like a treetop satellite texture, but when it's kind of blended in with rock like that, it just looks like moss, which makes for a really cool effect. Very nice. And we have some kind of eroded snow on these hillsides here. Very cool looking. Oh wow, I really like that. Wait a minute. Gotta got the clouds clipping through there. There we go. Possible thumbnail potential right there. Let's hit play. And let's speed this up a bit. There we go. That's a bit better. Maybe a nice snowy, like snow peak kind of thumbnail. I kind of like that as that is kind of the start of a system here. As you can see, there's a lot of comets and like small asteroids just kind of orbiting the star. That's normally the sign of like kind of a call it, but like the start of a system, like a planet is still forming here. Or it could just be like a planet like this in the Roche limit of the parenting star and shredding up and forming kind of a ring. Not really too sure. I do believe that's what this means though. Because not every star actually has these kind of asteroid rings around it. So maybe it's like the start of a new system, I'm not really too sure. And what is this? This is a scorched ice giant that is just kind of burning away right here. As you can see, it is very bright. Let me turn off real planet brightness so we can get a better sense of what this looks like. Pink and blue, that is very common amongst burning away planets in this game. So let's check out the galactic collision we have going on here. That is making up a kind of beautiful night sky. Okay, so we have like a little ring galaxy here colliding into this huge spiral galaxy. I love the glow that's just kind of being casted from this galaxy here. Just the center of it's just all glowing. Let's turn up the star magnitude a little bit. Okay, my frame rate's killed a little bit, but as you can see... Ow. Very cool looking. I'm probably gonna crash the game. I'm pretty sure I might crash the game doing this, but that is really cool looking. You can see all the brighter stars just kind of rendering in that galaxy right there. Very cool. And let's try to get a little bit closer to this without crashing it. Okay, the game's about to crash. I need to... Oh, there it goes. But for the moment that lasted, that made a pretty nice view, I would say. Resolution's completely off. Let me fix this. Okay. 1920 by 1080. No. Nope, still no. 1080. There we go. Now OBS hopefully picked it up. Yep, there we go. Okay, we're back at these two galaxies with the magnitude corrected. So let's go ahead and check out a suggestion from Preston Jackson, and he wants me to visit UI Scuti, which I want to make this a little bit interesting. Go to Earth. Now, I'm not too sure where UI Scuti is, but I believe, because somebody also wanted me to visit Earth as well, which I've done many times. I've visited Earth way too many times now. And I wonder if I should download the high-res like solar system texture, because this isn't very well generated. It doesn't really generate terrain very well when you have just like, I don't know, preset texture, I guess. Let's do actually have some generated terrain. But if I'm correct, UI Scuti is somewhere in this kind of neighborhood, like over here when you look at the Milky Way galaxy. I don't think I'm actually going to see it if I click on any of these bright stars. Because I don't think UI Scuti is actually all that bright. I think it's just big. I don't think it has a very high magnitude anyways. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to find it doing this. So let's just go ahead and punch in UI Scuti and see if I'm actually correct about this. Here's UI Scuti. And there it is. Actually, it's past the clouds of the Milky Way galaxy. Let's see if I can zoom in. It is that dim star right there. It's probably not that dim, it's just being blocked out by these clouds. So let's go ahead and check it out. I've been here many times before. Oh, it's actually not that far. Further than that, I thought it would actually be like on the other side of the galaxy, but I guess not. But here is UI Scuti. It is a red luminous supergiant, which will probably become a beautiful supernova in its future. It's a diameter, there we go. It has a diameter of 15 astronomical units, so it is a very big star. In fact, it is the biggest star that we know about. And I don't think it has yet to be surpassed by a bigger star. And one thing about this star is it is a variable star, so it's actually fluctuating in size. It's actually like growing and shrinking over time. And it's probably unstable and probably going to explode in a beautiful supernova in the next probably few hundred million years or billion years or so. Over here it generates a scorched ice giant right next to this massive star. The difference between this scorched ice giant here and that star is actually 9 astronomical units, so it's about the distance between the Sun and I believe Saturn, I would say. So that's just kind of an idea of how big UI Scuti actually is. do have many videos of Universe Sandbox 2, kind of showing the scale of UI Scuti versus Sun. Just want to check those out and get an idea of how big this monster actually is. Now, obviously, bigger stars actually generate in this game, but this is basically the biggest catalog star that we have. Pretty cool. So let's go ahead and try to find the next suggestion here. The comments are a total mess for me. Let me... Okay, let's see. Here I am. Here's my comments. As you can see, I have a lot of videos just kind of blended in. Like, here's my comments I'm looking at right now for the IDs and stuff. And, yeah, it's just kind of everywhere. So, yeah. Anyways, Doraj? I don't know. He gave me a lot of feedback saying, your keyboard's too clicky. I'm aware. I need to get that replaced. I mentioned that yesterday. He's saying, stop using push-to-talk. I explained why I use push-to-talk. I do hope to phase that out. This is kind of like an experimental video, whether I should use push-to-talk anymore. Because so far in this video, people have talked outside my bedroom and taken a shower, but if you guys have noticed that, like the water turning on and pipes running through our whatever house and whatnot, if I can actually hear that in the video, then I'm probably going to keep push-to-talk on. If not, then I'm probably will step away from push-to-talk and we'll just stick to editing. Like, just loud events out and stuff like that. So I'm hoping this new microphone does the job. And he's also saying link the new SpaceEngine website. The reason why I don't do that is because I want the developer to kind of push that site forward at its own pace, because eventually it will replace SpaceEngine.org. It's just a matter of, like, that's just kind of a test platform that he's using right now. And I think he plans to release that site probably with the new version of SpaceEngine that'll be coming in the future. So I'll let him do that at its own pace. For now, I'm just going to link the normals en.spaceengine.org. And for any Russian viewers, there's ru.spaceengine.org as well. So, yeah. He also says, using other recording software that uses the same NVIDIA built-in technology will save you a lot of frames when recording. Actually, OBS has full support for MVENC, and I'm actually utilizing that right now. I do that in all my videos. So, yeah, my CPU usage is like 5% because of that. It basically offloads it entirely from the CPU, so it's very nice. Yeah, I already take advantage of that, so thanks for suggesting that, but a little bit ahead of you on that one. So, yeah, that's basically a little bit of, like, the suggestion that he has right there. I went through it and kind of responded to him already, but, yeah, I'm hoping to get rid of push-to-talk, and I do hope to get a less loud keyboard in the future. I don't know when that'll be. Hopefully the next time I have, like, side work and have a little bit of money or something like that, but, yeah, I just figured I'd mention that. Kara Hoff says they're in the nebula video. So look at all those nebulas, they're so pretty. Yeah, I thought that galaxy was amazing. I don't know what parameters I made it to actually generate like that, but that was insane. It was lagging up my computer like crazy having all those nebulas there. Anyways, our next two suggestions are from Neff Diggity Dog, so let's go ahead and check them out. And I'm gonna turn down the music ever so slightly because I see it's kind of peaking a little bit here. There we go. So, Neff Diggity Dog, and he wants me to go to a pulsar. He says this is the oldest exoplanet, which would make sense around a pulsar, I guess. It'd probably be a gas giant, or else, whatever event this pulsar... Whoa. Oh, it's B. Okay. So, continuing what I was saying, a pulsar is a very old event. It's a remnant of a supernova or a very large nova event. So any planets that would survive around it, like this one, would be probably a gas giant, as any terrestrial worlds would probably burn away in the event of a supernova. So it makes sense that that would be kind of yeah. I think I've seen a SciShow video on this exact system here, but I'll go over that in a second. Let's turn up the ambient lighting so we can actually see this gas giant here. It doesn't have any color in the game, which is kind of desaturated gray, it looks like. But there is our planet here. It has a ring system. I would imagine it probably wouldn't have a ring system. Wouldn't the ring system actually burn away in the event of a supernova? Of course, that could have formed afterwards. But yeah, supernova event, and then this was discovered by pulsar timing. Okay, so I forget the exact details of the system, but it's 2 pulsars. It's actually, I think, the only system where we've actually seen 2 pulsars. This one's a neutron star, and I assume the other one's a neutron star. Like a black hole, which is a really cool effect. And let's check out the other one here. This one's actually a white dwarf. Very interesting. But continuing on from what I was saying, basically you have gamma radiation, giant beams that are like shooting out of these. And since the star is rotating, these are rotating incredibly fast. What happens is, kind of like if you were ice skating or something and you moved your arms kind of inwards while spinning, you would actually accelerate. Well, it's essentially the same concept with a pulsar. Basically all the star's mass, this is just kind of the core of the star that's a remnant here. The outer shell of the star has exploded off of it. Basically, all the mass is now in the center, so it starts spinning incredibly fast. In fact, some of these spin like a rotation per like a couple milliseconds. So they spin incredibly fast. So you have this gamma radiation that essentially rotates around, kind of spins around like a circle. But this is like a incredibly precise clock. In fact, some say that it's basically the most precise clock in the universe. Pulsars. So you have the gamma beam kind of rotating around with the star. I can't really show this here. I could in Universe Sandbox 2 if I reverted back to the previous version. I don't think I could actually do it in the newest version. But you can get the gamma rays basically spinning in a rotation there. Now, as for how the planet is discovered, I don't actually know the detail of that. But I do believe the discovery of this was actually very important. Or the planet there was actually very important in this, the discovery of these 2 kind of pulsars here. Or in this case, a white dwarf and a pulsar. But I believe it was like the effects that this planet had on, I believe, the timing of this star here. I believe that it was something to do with that. I don't know the details, and if you guys want to fill me in, feel free to. I mean, like I say, this is not really an educational channel. It's as much a learning experience for me as it is for pretty much anyone else here, and I think it would be very cool to just be kind of filled in on that. And I'll probably go over that SciShow video again, just kind of fill in the details. But yeah, I'm probably saying a lot of misleading information, so take it with a grain of salt. But yeah, I do believe I haven't seen the system in the game, but I've heard of this system before. Okay, so the next one from Dog is longest orbital period. So let's go ahead and check that out. I assume it's a very, very far away planet from its actual parent star. Oh, it's not loading. Okay, let's see. Let's remove the dash. Okay, so we're looking for 1268. 1, 2. Okay, so 21268. So 21265. Yeah, that's actually missing. It's not here. It would be between these 2. So yeah, I can't actually get that system to load. If it's in the game, find the correct ID for that. I assume you probably just found that in like a catalog on Google or something like that, but for some reason it's not loading, so I'm gonna have to skip that one, unfortunately. But yeah, if you update that suggestion, I will definitely visit it in the next video. Someone asked me what version of SpaceEngine this is. 0.9.8.0, the latest version that's available, I do believe. At the time of this video, of course. Okay, so we have one from Monkey Flea, or Sean. Let's go ahead and check it out. Let's go back to the planetarium, and he says this is a small warm tower with beautiful rings and marine life. And here we go. Let's go back to our lighting settings and reset the ambient lighting. There we go. Oh wow. It does have beautiful rings. Look how colorful that is. Kind of got like blue, green, and purple going on there, it looks like. Maybe yellow here, but it kind of got a little bit dim. We have this huge Selena moon here, kind of orbiting very close to the planet. We have something glowing over here, right here in the back. Let's check that out. A little asteroid, just kind of claiming its own little section of the rings. Nice. And check out that nice red kind of sunset there. You could already see what color it's going to fade to. Kind of a green to red color. I really like doing that with the star. Okay, so we have like this beautiful green water, it looks like. Let's touch down right here. Is that actually green water, or is that just the atmospheric color? I think it's actually the water. Oh yeah, look at that. That is very green. Like, way greener than the water normally is in the game. Yeah, you see it looks like I was gonna say an asteroid collided right there, but no, it's just doing that weird fade effect. Very cool looking. Kind of got a purple glow to the atmosphere. Once I actually touch down here, yeah, it's kind of a purple atmosphere. You can see the beautiful rings and that huge Selena moon there. You actually see it very vibrantly. Let me turn on the real planet brightness real quick. Oh, it is already on. Never mind then. Okay, so we have the real planet brightness on, so I mean, the daytime sky, that moon is just so close that it's like that big, I guess, in the sky. It's just huge. Very nice. You can see our cloud layer, which is kind of detailed. I think we have multiple layers, possibly. No, it's just very bumpy. Oh, wait, we do actually have multiple layers. Very cool. We have some nice eroded hills. There is no terrestrial life on this world. It is all marine life. So all the life in the world is going to be in this kind of green water. The world is kind of in its early stages, and eventually that life may just move on to land and become terrestrial life in a few billion years. Very nice. And are we in the Milky Way galaxy? I think we are in the Milky Way galaxy. This looks very Milky Way-like. We certainly are. Anyways, very nice. Let's check out the next suggestion from Monkey Flea. That's another thing. If I click on... I'm going to continue on from my little ramble earlier. When I click on planets, I have all the specifications here on the top left. If you guys really want to check them out, like, they're right there. If I skip over that part and actually just check out like the features on the world, what that does is that lets me actually visit more worlds in a faster amount of time, which will hopefully get me through like more of your guys' suggestions a little bit quicker, make these episodes a little bit shorter, because as I get more and more suggestions, the videos are just getting longer and longer. I'm going to try to visit every suggestion, but eventually I'm going to have to start skipping them, and it's going to be really unfortunate. I don't really know how to handle all of that as of yet. If you guys have any suggestions for that, I mean, I don't know. I just go through the comments and just check out suggestions, so yeah. Suggestion, once again, is from Monkey Flea, or Sean. And here we go. This one is a temperate terror with life, with once again marine life. I think this world is pelted with craters, or asteroids, meteors, whatever you want to call them. I think that's what all these circles are, is just a bunch of craters that have just like, yeah, a bunch of craters from meteors that have pelted the world. Very interesting. Is there any actual deep ones? Confirm whether or not they're craters. They look like it for sure. Normally you'll find one in the water that makes the water a lot deeper, but I guess I'm not really finding that. What's going on with this volcano here? I don't know what this white sludge is. Maybe just ash? Probably just ash. There's the volcano itself. You can see it's not very vibrant lava. In fact, you can see kind of like a coal layer over the top of it. And this has some really, really thick fog going on. Is the ambient lighting correct? It is correct. This is just a weird, kind of white world. I wonder if that's like snow, but it's like winded, like kind of like sand, like just powdery snow. The temperature of this world is 18 degrees, so it wouldn't be too far-fetched to assume that's snow. I think that is snow. It could just be a snow-covered world. Or it could be sand. Just be sand. It looks a lot more like sand. There's once again another giant Selena moon just orbiting very close to the world. We have kind of a brown texture going on right here. Okay, that looks like some kind of rough, kind of dirty, rocky terrain, I guess. Okay, so I'm gonna assume that's actually sand, not snow. Do you have any polar caps or any other features on this world? I wonder if I'm getting that bug again where auroras don't show up. I think the best way to be able to tell would probably be to go to Jupiter. There's a little cyclone there. I don't think that's actually next to an ocean, though. Normally hurricanes and stuff will, well, like in real life on our world, would be kind of closer to shorelines, not really so much inland. Yeah, like these hurricanes that are kind of just inland are a little bit confusing. I don't understand why they'd actually generate that way. I think it's just slapping them anywhere on its equator. Oh wait, there is an aurora. Okay, so the game is not bugged. Because like a while ago, I actually had this bug where auroras would not show up at all, and I actually had to reinstall the game. And I did lose all my bookmarks when I did that, so I really wanted to avoid reinstalling the game again. But yeah, very cool looking world. Where's the star? Oh, well, that's cool looking. Turn off the diffraction spikes real quick. Check that out. We have like we have a lot of comet tails around this star. Look at all those things just evaporating away around the star. There's actually like four objects here. We have something here, a scorched desert. We have a scorched ice giant. And then we have something here. I can't really find it though. Ah, there we go. Another scorched desert. Yeah. As you can see, there's like 3 planets kind of like burning up here, and then you have a bunch of asteroids and stuff. I assume this is like the start of a new system. Maybe at one point, right? Like, well, I mean, Mercury's a Selena, kind of like our moon. But maybe Mercury at some point was just kind of like this, just kind of burning away next to our sun. There's a small asteroid just orbiting around this thing too. And let's go ahead and turn back on our diffraction spikes. Oh, they're already back on. Okay. And yeah, really cool effect. Let's hit play and just watch these kind of rotate around. Very nice comet tails. I wonder how fast you could actually fast forward in this game. So fast, I think the star is actually moving through space. that appears to be the fastest you could actually make things move. I don't think it's gonna go so fast that we get the Milky Way rotating, but very nice. I just reset time, didn't I? Time reset, default speed. There we go. Time reset again. Okay, so the next suggestion is from Flash, and he wants me to visit a star and some of the planets. So here we go. Right here in our Milky Way galaxy. These stars always intrigue me because it looks like kind of just maybe stained glass. Looks like probably like stained glass that you would find in like a window, like a kind of decorative window, I guess. I always found that really cool looking. And as you can see, we have some comets here. A scorched desert and another scorched desert. Let's go ahead and see the planet list. Let's check out this hot desert over here. It's very hot, barren terrain here. Kind of a purple yellowish atmosphere. Oh wow, look at that huge star right there. I don't think that's actually that big of a star. Oh, it is. It's actually an orange giant. So as you can see, we have this desert here, which just looks very, very desolate. You can see some winded sand here, like some sand dunes forming, and yeah, this would not be habitable anytime soon. It's sitting at a temperature of 372 degrees. Very, very hot world. The atmospheric pressure is very low, actually, for the temperature that this thing has. So yeah, very hot world. Not something that'd be habitable anytime soon. Over here we have a hot Selena, kind of like Mercury, but this one's much hotter than Mercury. This is actually sitting at 478 degrees Celsius. This is hotter than that desert that actually did have an atmosphere. And you can see there's kind of some craters here. There's a huge crater right there that kind of ejected some, basically, soil and all that inner rocks just kind of ejected out and made this kind of star-shaped, also known as a disco crater, as far as I'm concerned. And yeah, this is a very bright world. Is this tidally locked? Let's see. No, not quite. No, it's not like totally locked with the star, but I think it's like, or rotates rather slowly. No, its rotational period is actually 33 hours, so no, never mind. So it is actually rotating, and the temperature is kind of balancing out, but yeah, I was wondering if it's gonna be like Mercury, where it's not quite tidally locked, but it orbits like 3 times for every like 1.5 years or something like that. And I was wondering if it was actually going to be like cold on one side and hot on the other side. Okay, so we have a... Okay, what's interesting about this gas giant here is it's very hot, it's 700 degrees, but there's this glowing object back here in the shadow of it, which tells me whatever this is actually molten. If I can get it selected, it is a scorched asteroid. Ulf. That strikes me as almost a little bit odd. Maybe it's just tidal effects from the planet on an asteroid? I wouldn't think so. But possibly. Which I don't think... Yeah, it's not sitting in the direction of the star there. So, very cool. Over here we have this scorched desert, which is evaporating away and also has a comet tail, which is incredibly, incredibly bright. And the cool thing is actually watching the shadow of the planet in the atmosphere here. As you can see right there, we have this kind of slanted angle here. That's the shadow being casted by the planet itself on its own atmosphere. So if we touch down right here, we can see, whoa, kind of a very hellish effect. Well, let's go back over there. Wow. Now, I think these are just naturally generated mountains in the game, but I'm going to assume they're giant waves of magma. That's a very cool effect. Maybe that is what this is, and these aren't actually mountains. They're probably mountains. So I've seen some hell worlds in this game, but this is a hell world. And I think music stopped. There we go. Okay. So yeah, this is a easy looking world. Now as we go over to the sunrise, as you would say, I guess, you can see that it gets much brighter. It actually stays magma even on the lit up side, which is actually pretty unusual for the game. So this is definitely a pure lava world. Very cool. So let's check out this other planet here, which is just gonna fly through the star real quick. Really locked. Has a storm going on. Let's turn off real planet brightness real quick. But it's definitely a molten world. Yeah, as you can tell, it's sitting so close to the star. And yeah, with real planet brightness on, it's just basically impossible to see. Let's keep that off. And let's fly over where it kind of transitions to lava. As you see, it has a beautiful, detailed, hellish cloud layer. And here we are, just molten lava everywhere. That is one hell of a view right there. You can see these beautiful detailed clouds just kind of filling the sky here. Nice. Okay, so we have one more suggestion and... oh, no, wait. Is that one more suggestion? Yeah, I think that is our last suggestion for today. So let's go ahead and check out this last suggestion. It is from X, the Snipe XX. And it is a cataloged planet, so let's check it out. Where is it? Wait, what? There we go. Blue world. I think those are polar caps. Yeah, that's a polar cap. So it's a cold terra with life. It is marine life, so we're not actually going to see anything. But it looks like it's just a giant snowball world, pretty much. With some liquid, I would assume water. We're sitting at negative 33 degrees Celsius, carbon dioxide, oxygen, and nitrogen, so actually kind of an Earth-like atmosphere. Actually a little bit thicker atmosphere than Earth. It's just frozen here. If I turn on the real planet brightness, I might actually get a really cool dim effect. I actually didn't. I guess that little star up there, or probably big star, is actually illuminating it pretty well. White main sequence star. Very cool. And this is more of a snow world than the one I was talking about previously, which is kind of weird because it has that cracked mud texture that happens when the sun beats down on like some wet mud. Interesting. High altitude cloud layer, as you can see here. Not a lot of clouds in this general area, at least. There we go. Now we're actually moving a little bit. You see it has some, like, kind of, I assume, very cold sandy beaches here. Or maybe, like, high tidal, or well, where there's, like, a high tide, and then it kind of brushes against the snow, or, I guess, mud here. Very cool looking beaches. Kind of world. This is incredibly cold. Let's get this selected again, just so we have the details up in the top left. Over here, it looks like kind of glacial kind of thing going on. Like this is the edge of maybe some like ice or something like that. I can totally see that. Very cool world, literally. But there's actually life down here. And it's incredibly cold. What I, again, can only assume is probably water. Of course, we can't see the life, but you could only imagine that it would be very cold. So this life would be surviving in probably below freezing temperatures. I don't think this is water. If it is water, like H2O or something like that, it's got to be alien. There's got to be a lot of salt in it for it not to freeze, especially at these kind of temperatures. Of course, we have this weird thing going on where like most of that is just kind of doing a weird thing. And yeah, it's got to be like very, very saline water, which if that's the case, and it is actually, no, that would make it below freezing still. The information here. No, I'm not quite sure what that water is. Maybe liquid methane. Not too sure. But very cool looking world. Let's check out some of these polar caps real quick. There's just some very, very thick spiky hills, it looks like. Kinda interesting that the world is just frozen and then you have like these polar caps which are just very tall. As if it's like thawing here, but the altitude of these is just so much higher than the rest of the world. You can see there's like some kind of nicely eroded snowy mountains up at the top of here. Some are like made of snow. Anyways, very nice world. So I think that'll be the end of this video. I do plan to get back into these videos, but I don't think I'm going to be moving back to daily uploads of these. I think... Okay, there's Barnard's Loop kind of flickering there. I think I'm probably going to be doing these probably bi-weekly, or maybe every other day or something like that. Mainly because these are very time consuming. I just spent about an hour recording this. I'm probably going to spend about an hour editing it, and then I'm going to have to render it, which will take about 45 minutes. Then I have to upload it, and I have to make a thumbnail. It really is a lot of work to make these videos, but I do like to make these videos because I do like interacting with the viewers, because it's very cool just to check out the suggestions that the viewers submit. And you can see the, actually there was kind of a debate with this. I call it the Pleiades Nebula, because that's just how it looks like it would be spelt. Let me like that. But it's actually pronounced, I think, Pleiades. Yeah, the Pleiades, and that's like the kind of Greek pronunciation of it or something like that. I know a lot of these, like, constellations and stuff are basically, kind of just Greek mythology and all that kind of stuff, but, I always call it Pleiades because if you read that in English, I mean, it's like Pleiades, but it's actually Pleiades. But I'm probably just gonna keep calling them Pleiades, but whatever. I forget who I was actually responding to in the comments about that, but yeah. I always kind of mispronounce that, and I probably still will, but yeah, it's actually the Pleiades Nebula, which is not actually a nebula. It's actually just the glow of some like large blue stars just kind of glowing on some interstellar dust. Anyways, yeah. If you guys like the video, please leave it a like, and if you want to see more videos like this, please do subscribe. It really does help. And I will see you guys in the next one.